Well, greetings. Coming to you with some information I feel like you may want to know. I am offering 3 additional healing services. I did introduce my new natal chart unpacking service a few days ago, but I wanted to come and make sure you know that I am offering 3 new healing services. That's Reiki healing session. That will be an hour of Reiki healing, an anti-inflammation session where I'm focusing mostly on bringing the inflammation down in your body, and then sound healing. All of these are similar, but they are different, and I want to talk a little bit about the differences in each one of them. So starting with the Reiki session, this hour-long session is utilizing aromatherapy, sound, and Reiki. A full hour of Reiki where I'm starting at your root chakra. So I'm starting from your feet and I move all the way to the top of your head using Reiki healing energy. If you don't know about Reiki healing, I definitely suggest that you get to learn about it. So many institutions are now healing institutions are now incorporating Reiki healing, including hospitals and clinics. It is very, very effective. Okay. I was introduced to Reiki healing years ago when I would get this serious pain in my shoulder and my knee. And one of my good sisters is a Reiki practitioner, expert Reiki practitioner. And I suppose she felt the energy because she said, "Are you in pain in your shoulder?" And I looked at her and went, how did you know that? She's like, "You're in like tremendous pain." I'm like, "Well, I'm just used to it by now." She said, "Wow, you have high pain tolerance. Come here, sit down." And we just sat there and chit chatted and she did her thing. You wouldn't have known she was doing anything. She literally, you would think she just has her hand hovering over my shoulder, sometimes placing it on my shoulder and just kind of sitting there. But I tell you, in about 2 days, it occurred to me, my shoulder is not hurt. And I was like, wait a minute, you know? And from that point on, I definitely get a Reiki session at least once a quarter, sometimes more throughout the year, or once a season, I should say, sometimes more throughout the year. So that is Reiki healing. The benefits of that is it definitely is going to assist with pain. It's going to do what it needs to do. It's kind of like what I tell people about sea moss. Sea moss is one of those kind of all-purpose supplements that you can take, and it's going to mineralize the body in a way that whatever the body needs is going to do it. Reiki is kind of like that. It's going to energize the body in whatever place is needed. And so I'm not necessarily, doing anything except practicing the Reiki on you. The energy that I'm using, the Reiki is going to do its job, and go to where it's needed. So it's very good with stress relief, pain relief. It even sometimes rile up emotions. So it's emotional healing. Sometimes it just depends on what's needed. Like I said, it just depends on what's needed. The anti-inflammation session. So with the anti-inflammation session, I'm going to focus on grounding. So I'll be using the grounding mat. I'll also be giving you an anti-inflammation tea before we start. And we're going to use breath work, the grounding mat, and a little bit of Reiki. And so again, the intention of that is to minimize the inflammation in the body. Why is this extremely important? Because chronic illness comes from chronic inflammation. Okay. And inflammation is one of those things that you don't really know it's happening until you feel pain or some type of tension. But by the time you feel that, it's already doing damage. And I'm not saying this to be fearful. I'm just saying this so we can really get a sense of how inflammation really impacts our lives. So inflammation can come from, the other thing about inflammation, it can come from stress. It can come from the foods you eat. It can come from tension, thoughts, emotions. If you're grieving, inflammation tends to begin to accumulate. If you are eating foods that create inflammation in the body and mucus and those type of things, then you're going to have the inflammation. And just really, shallow breathing can create the atmosphere for inflammation. So it's really like inflammation is going to be present in the body. The question is, what are you doing regularly to keep the inflammation down? So this session is really for anyone, young, child, from child to adult. This session it will be wonderful. Bringing the inflammation down is definitely going to assist with things like pain in the body, pain in the joint. Decreasing inflammation sometimes decreases like water weight, things like that. Decreasing inflammation can help with bringing pressure, stabilizing blood pressure. um, it helps with stimulating circulation. It's so much that happens when you bring down inflammation in the body. And it's ways that you can do that. The tea that you're going to drink is going to introduce you to some herbs and supplements that you can utilize on a daily basis. I'm definitely going to teach you what that tea is and how you can make it. It's very simple. And then the grounding mat that we use is going to pull the energy from the actual ground to help ground you, which brings down inflammation. So much research around that. A lot of people call it earthing. Some people call it grounding. It's the same thing. It's basically allowing the energy of the earth to help bring down inflammation. So the mat that you'll be on is similar to you laying on the ground to have this session. Then we're going to do some breath work because breathing absolutely helps with inflammation. And oftentimes we are constantly shallow breathing and we don't know that. We're not really breathing completely. And so that increases inflammation. And then we'll use sound healing. And so that is going to give you a deep state of relaxation. Relaxation is essential in bringing down inflammation. And so between all of those things, you should definitely leave here feeling much better and also on the road to decrease inflammation and with the knowledge so that you can live a life that is anti-inflammatory. That's the intention. And the last session is sound healing. So that's one of my favorite services because I love to do the sound healing sessions. So this can be individual or group. You can do it as a friend group, a family, or organization, a sister circle, a brother circle. That can be here at the garden in the den. That's where I am right now. Or you can have me come out. It's different options for you there. But sound healing is just, it's really indescribable. It is soothing, it is healing, it's deeply relaxing, it's rejuvenating. It absolutely takes you in deep states of relaxation, deep states of meditation. And so that's going to be a very cozy, comfortable, relaxing session that incorporates various instruments like chimes and sound bowls and drums and different things that I use throughout the session, right? And I also incorporate chakra stones in that session if you desire. If you don't desire to use gemstones, that's fine. I also incorporate a little bit of aromatherapy during that session, and of course, music is incorporated too. I like to use sounds of instruments and music, like